Aloha, everyone. It is November 5th, Election Day 2024, and this is my live coaching. It is about 4 p.m. now East Coast time, 11 a.m. in Hawaii, and I have a different location than normal because I'm taking care of a friend's house while they're away, and their kitty cat, Hina. So I am just checking in to see if I have any volunteers for live coaching today. My team just listened to the voicemail, didn't hear any voicemail messages, which just as a friendly reminder, guys, you want to remember that you can always leave your voicemail on that voicemail set up specifically for traders. And it's for you guys who are a little shy and may not want to come on. The phone number there that you can leave the message on is 646-828-7736. So if you're too shy to come on and do some live coaching, then please go and call that voicemail. Leave your message, then I will play it on these lives, and you will be able to have me coach your voicemail, basically. You don't have to leave your name, of course, if you don't want to, so you can have that anonymity. But if you do want some speed coaching today, please come into the room as soon as possible so that the majority of our time together today is with me coaching you all. All right, let's see here. I'm going to Twitter, X, and I'm putting up the link for you to come in if you want some speed coaching. Join here. All right, here we go. So how's everybody's week going? I'm curious how you're handling the volatility. Election day, of course, is a catalyst. It's been a catalyst for a couple of weeks, probably a couple of months, actually. So I'm just kind of curious how you're all navigating that. If you're staying cool, remember that beautiful quote that I will never stop quoting from Peter Brandt, where he says there are bad trades and then there are losing trades. I hope right now, if you're taking any kind of trade that is a losing trade, but not a bad trade, then you have something to be proud of. Of course, you want to have successful trades, more importantly. But the key here, at the end of your day, you want to be able to ask yourself, did I take losing trades today, or did I take bad trades? And the one that you need to be the most cautious about, of course, is the bad trades, because that not only loses your capital, but it also loses your mental capital. Tina, I'm so glad you're here. How are you? Tina, I have no way to get in touch with you, and I wanted to put you in touch with another trader who wants to connect. So are you on X, Tina? Can you send me a DM? I put a comment asking you to DM me or send me an email on YouTube on one of your comments. So it's good morning to you and good afternoon to you, technically. Yes, good morning for me. So Tina, get in touch with me. Send me an email at Kim at the Wall Street Coach, or send me a DM on X. I don't know if you are on X. Just find a way to get in touch with me with your email so I can put you in touch with this trader, or at least find out if you're open to that. Hey, Brief Info, glad you're here. So you guys want to have speed coaching today. Remember, you do have to have a camera, and the link is already up. So Brief Info, if you want to have speed coaching. Tina, if you want to have coaching, I think, Tina, we talked about you coming in this next visit because we had a couple of people hop in quickly. So remember, the quicker you guys come in for some speed coaching, the quicker I can do as many people as possible. So of course, I always have topics for this conversation, but I find this to be best if the traders themselves come in. You sent me a DM a while ago, but we'll send another. Where did you send a DM, Tina? To X, on X? Because I get, I look at my DMs. Some, of course, hop into spam, but I do not see any in my DMs from you. I've been looking, so I'm not sure where that is. But you sent me a DM. Where did you send the DM? The only other place is Instagram. But even those, I usually can see the spam ones going to spam, but I usually run through them quick just to see if it's anybody that I'm familiar with. So anyway, send me a DM on X if you can, Tina. That would be the best place. All right. So, Tina, are you going to come in for some live coaching? Brief info. Are you coming in for live coaching? The link is right there. And I even put it up on X so you guys can, have access to it right away. Look, at the end of the day, this is, yes, on X. I'm not good at using X, so I might have said it wrong. Well, look, if you just go to my handle, I don't even know what your handle is on X, Tina. Are you comfortable putting it here? Then I can follow you back and you can easily get in touch with me. But my DMs on X are open, Tina, so you shouldn't have had any problem sending me a message. So double check and tell me what your X handle is so I can follow you. And then I can put you in touch with the other trader. She's also on X. But besides that, I just wanted to talk to you offline too. You don't have to come in today. That's okay. Good. I'm glad you'll come in the future. So if anybody does want speed coaching, speak now. Raise your hand, take the link. If you're looking at this through YouTube, you guys can see the link. There's a link right at the start, 11:01. I posted it, which is going to probably show at 4:01 Eastern time. Basically today is just, I wanted to just put a focus on how do you keep yourself grounded, but I don't have camera access. That's okay, brief info. Next time, okay? Try to get a camera. They're super cheap. At least in the US, they're super cheap. You can get, a repurposed one for like $20. So anyway, long story short, I just want to speak today about how to stay grounded. Look, 50% of this country is going to be unhappy tomorrow. I could be one of them. And all I know is that we have to find a way to stay civil with each other, and we have to find a way to stay grounded in ourselves. There are just some people who get very emotional with these elections, and I can understand that. I, too, am very tempted sometimes to get very emotional. But this is a bigger conversation. This is a conversation about life. Like, life continues to send us curveballs. And the only way we can navigate through our life, navigate through the trading that you do, navigate the world around you when it doesn't do what you want it to do, is to be able to rely on yourself. Because when we put our power in the people who are elected, or the baseball team that wins, or whether or not you are moving as fast as you want to with your financial income getting higher, you potentially put yourself in a position to be a victim of those people, places, and things. And part of what I want to remind you guys is that the only one who can really be in charge of you isn't your circumstances, but is your mind and your emotions and the relationship they have with you. It is irrelevant what is happening around you. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is you want to find a way, even in the storms, even in the chaos, even in the things not going the way you thought they would or the way you wanted them to, you have to come back to center, especially when things are going pear-shaped, because that center within you is that still place. It's your anchor. It's your confidence that you can handle whatever is showing up in your life or in your trading. So just be careful. You can grieve. You can be, you can celebrate whatever is going to be your outcome for the election. But I want you to remember that at the end of the day, that doesn't get to have control over you. You can have all of your feelings. You can discharge them, which you guys know I'm going to be an advocate for. But then at some point, you're going to have to come back into your own body, back into being anchored in this moment, because it's only from that place are you going to be able to create change or have a possibility or have a sense of peace so you can sleep at night, right? All of that is an inside job. It's very easy to get caught up in outsourcing our state of mind. Well, this happened, Kim. Well, that happened, Kim. That's why I'm not centered. That's why I'm so triggered. And it wouldn't matter what the environments are. At the end of the day, you have the power to strengthen this mind muscle. It's up to you to come back to center. That's why I'm such an advocate for you guys doing work on yourself. Why? Because the more work you do on yourself, the better ability you can surf these big waves that life will inevitably throw your way, and you will be able to get through them. That is the key. How do you get through when there's a challenge, when things don't go the way you want them to? That is part of what you as a trader are going through every single day. You've got to see that, guys. You are going to repeatedly find yourself in positions you would rather not be in. But if you can find a way to come back to center over and over and over again, you can take them in stride. If you've heard the term like water off a duck's back, what does that mean? Well, there's a coating on the back of a duck, so the water doesn't stick. It doesn't soak in like it would, let's say, a dog's coat, it just slips right off. Ultimately, that's what you guys want to strive for. That's what I strive for every day. I have good days. I have bad days. I'm not saying I got this all figured out. I'm just saying, though, I really practice this. And days when it's super hard, like tomorrow, if the candidate I want to win doesn't win, I will have to grieve. I will have to be sad. I will have to possibly be angry. I'm going to have a kaleidoscope of emotions. And I will be seeking my way through all those emotions back to center, back to what I can do in this moment, in the rest of my days, weeks, life. That's part of why I do this live coaching for you guys. This is my way of taking ownership for what I would rather be different in the world. I can only do what I can do. So this is one of those things. I work as a coach and I contribute this to anybody who wants it. Why? Because that makes me feel like I can make a difference. I can help give tools that I have learned through so much of the challenges I've faced in my life. And those tools helped set me free, helped give me peace of mind, helped me heal. And now I was like, okay, I got all these tools. Let me share these tools. And I want you guys to realize that my being in that kind of a headspace is part of why, if you pay any attention to like my temperaments, I'm usually pretty happy. It's because I feel like I'm making a difference because of the people that I get to work with. To me, it's a privilege. It's an honor, whether they're paying clients or they're clients that come in through this chat room. What matters to me is taking the tools I have and trying to share those. But that is the same for all of you guys. If you feel powerless tomorrow, if you feel frustrated, find a way to make a difference. Find a way to be a contribution. You will be amazed at how much that helps your mood. You would be amazed at how uplifting it is when you can see something that's perhaps easy for you, simple for you, can make such a huge difference on somebody else. So when you do feel like you're getting all caught up in the negativity, when you feel like you can't do anything right, go volunteer someplace and you will be amazed at how fast your temperament, mood, and attitude shift like 180 degrees in 5 minutes. It's shocking, but it works. So, all right, I'm going to pause. I'm going to take some water. I had a big call last week with Investors Underground, Turbo Sam Pryor has me in his room once a month. And we were talking about our water bottles that he was like, hey, is that glass straw, glass bottle? And it is. And we were talking about, the microplastics that they're finding in our body. And he's like, yeah, I think I have to get rid of my plastic water bottle. And I was like, I know, I really got the glass straw and the glass ball jar, water jars, because I just like them better than the plastic. So I wasn't really conscious of microplastics when I first got these, but I think I feel like I got lucky and I dodged maybe a bullet 10 years or 15. I mean, God, guys, I've been coaching 18 years. So, but I haven't been doing these lives, but I'm always carrying water with me. That was thanks to Dan Pachter, who was one of my first trainers like 25 years ago. Before I even left the hedge fund that I worked at, I was working with Dan, and Dan was like, no plastic bottles. He knew back then. I don't know how he knew. He also always told me alcohol was poison. So he got me off alcohol for at least, I think I was off it for like a year and a half. So anyway. Yeah. All right. So tell me if there's anybody coming in for speed coaching today, because what's the point, right? If I don't get anybody here to speed coach. All right. So what else did I want to bring here? And I think I started to talk about this last week, and that was this concept of, if you find yourself bumping into things that are frustrating to you, to kind of change your perspective and start to see things that life is happening for you instead of life is happening to you. Again, that is just a mindset shift, but I want you to really pay attention to that. If you consistently have self-talk that is telling you you can't this or you can't that, you have to start to pay attention to that voice, because that voice is ultimately giving you misinformation. And I want you to really think about that, guys. How much misinformation are you enduring? It's an important question to ask, but very few traders ask it. So here is the trader check-in. This is a free sign up. You guys sign up for this. That trader check-in is going to kind of bring to your attention what some of how you're going into your trading day looks. And you need to be conscious of that. You need to be conscious all day long of all the actions you take, because that is your ability to potentially mitigate whatever the costs are. That is the key here. You guys got to realize that there is a cost if you are listening to self-sabotage, even a little bit. But in my experience, very few people listen to it a little bit. There's a podcast going around right now, this guy who spent time with Japanese monks, and that was what their training all was focused on, was eliminating as much of their negative thoughts as possible. And they were given exercises and specific projects to assist them at completely annihilating these inner critics. And that is the bulk of their training. I would love to see every trader listening to this start to approach their trading in the same way. I want you to really, really be vigilant with those dark thoughts, with those thoughts that tell you life is happening to you. If you feel like a victim of XYZ, fill in the blank, I can promise you, you are listening to an inner critic or an inner gremlin. And I would say the first key to your life changing is to take 100% responsibility for the situation you find yourself in. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying to take blame. I'm saying to take 100% ownership of what your current life looks like, because the only common denominator, no matter what it looks like, is you. And until you're willing to take 100% responsibility for that, you're not going to be empowered enough to be able to change it. And that is what we're all here to do, guys. We're all here to change. We're all here to grow. We're all here to evolve. We're all here to up level. We're all here to find ways to stretch into more consciousness, to stretch into a sense of being the master of the internal. We can't be a master of the external, but we can be a master of the internal. And that is ultimately what self-development work is about. That is what awareness is about. That's what consciousness is about. If you are trading and you aren't self-aware, you're going to have a very hard time finding consistent success. You might get lucky once in a while. You may have already gotten your luck once in a while. But the only way you can consistently find yourself on the side of constant, consistent improvement and success is if you are willing to take ownership of what the internal voices are saying. And it starts with just noticing. That's why I want you guys to really keep track of your inner critics. Part of Rick Carson's book, Taming Your Gremlin, he talks at length about having clarity on what those inner critics are saying to you repeatedly. What are the factors that get hit that triggers yours to come forward? That is a big, big piece of your ability to up level. And part of what I want you to really get is that it is a stretching just like a muscle. Anytime you stretch out muscles in the gym, there is a difficulty. Like if I do squats with my trainer and I try to walk a couple days later, I'm going to have pain. That is growth. You have to break it down and then stretch it out. Chakra growth is not spoken about with nonviolent communication, Eric. It's just about needs and needs-based language. So at the end of the day, I want you guys to be looking at what stretches you. I want you to look beyond. Exactly, Tina. Simply notice. I want you to start to reflect, even as a scientist does, even as an observer does. I want you to be looking at, look at how I respond to the results of this election. Isn't that fascinating? Isn't it fascinating? I'm feeling angry, or I'm feeling despondent, or I'm feeling excited, or I'm feeling happy. I want you to observe yourself and keep track of what feelings get brought up for you. All of this is part of a lifelong process, right? If you are constantly finding yourself bumping into similar issues or a particular issue as a trader, there's something underneath that happening. And the only way that's going to be rectified is if you're able to name it. And you have to be willing to be honest with yourself without making yourself wrong, to look that dragon in the eye. That is not fun to do, guys. It's not fun to really wake up one day and realize, oh, I'm the creator of my reality. I'm the creator of what I'm frustrated with. I'm the one who is responsible for this. That is not a fun thing to see, guys, but it is a moment where the power dynamic completely shifts and you come back into the driver's seat to be able to create the kind of life you do want. But you're going to have to take a hard look at what your current life is right now. And one of my spiritual teachers, Joseph Alto, he spoke specifically to owning the outside as you. The hardest words I ever heard. I can still remember where I was sitting when he told me this. This was probably, let me think how long ago this was. This is probably about 16, 17 years ago. And I remember him saying, get a Post-it and write these words down, Kim. Own the outside as you. Oh my God. It was hard as hell to hear that. I fought tooth and nail with him, of course. Lucky for me, this spiritual teacher wasn't just my teacher, but he had been a friend prior. But he is an enlightened being, Joseph. And he was just able, because we're friends, I was pushing back. I was like, this is bullshit. I don't like this. On the outside is you. But I still have that Post-it, guys. And I'm telling you, once I really embraced owning the outside as me, I put myself in a much more powerful position. My ego didn't like it. My ego is the one who wants to have what appears in the world's opinion as power, but it isn't real power. The real power, guys, is owning the outside as you. And some people might say, well, Kim, I didn't, this, or I didn't that. It's not about that, guys. It's about you putting yourself now in a position of authority and autonomy to start taking steps into a direction that you prefer. And if you want to do that, then you're going to have to be honest with yourself and put everything that you currently are out on the table, not to judge it. This is the problem. Most traders are quick to judge themselves, are quick to have an opinion about themselves. That's what I'm trying to talk you out of. Yes, you may have your triggers. Yes, you may have some default settings. Of course you do, because you're human. But the key is to notice them. So start putting them, get yourself a huge deck of index cards and write everything that you are doing that costs you down. If you're not financially where you want to be, put that down. Everything that's in the way, put it down on a postcard, put it down on an index card or a Post-it or any scrap of paper, and then put it on a table. All right. So, hi, sweetie. I want to see if you're both now. I don't understand, wait, cool, what you're asking. So you got to clarify. And if you're just, being a wise guy, I'm just going to ignore it. So if you have a legit question you want me to coach you on, feel free to put it here. But if not, and I'm just going to ignore it. So anyway, let me know if anybody wants to have coaching. I did put the link up on X, and it should be automatically posted up on Facebook, and it should be also showing up on YouTube. So I'm going to put the link one more time here. Let's see here. I want to see if you're both now can help me with my. I still don't understand what you're asking. Wait, cool. So sorry, you're going to have to speak English more fluently for me to be able to understand what you're asking. But that's okay. If not, I'm just going to, yeah. So anyway, that is the link. If anybody wants to come in for speed coaching, I do request you have a camera. I do request that you come in through the camera, because all of our other people that come in for speed coaching do it that way. So I want to keep that uniform. So if anybody does want some live coaching directly with me, then please click that Restream link. I'm going to put it back up on X. Let's just see here. Yep, it's still there. It says want speed coaching, join here, but nobody has clicked it yet. So I'm not sure what's going on. I don't think that guy was legit on Facebook, so I just muted him because it was annoying. All right. I have 110 people in total watching this. I can't believe not one of you don't want speed coaching. What the heck, guys? What am I doing this for if you don't raise your hand? And what are you nervous about? You guys have the ability to actually come right now to this live call and have an issue you're struggling with in your trading addressed. Now, let me tell you, that is a bodacious move. If you're doing that, that is telling all of your systems that you are serious about your trading. Think about what keeps you from volunteering right now. Think about what kind of inner critic or inner gremlin is telling you that you shouldn't come in here and do speed coaching. Because that voice, I can tell you right now, if that's the voice you're really always listening to, it's stopping you, guys. It is not helping you. And that is the biggest shock most people find out when they get their gremlins named and identified. People are shocked because they have been told by their inner critic, by their inner gremlin, one thing continuously. And that thing that everybody does have in common is that you would be nowhere without your inner critic holding your feet to the fire. And what I want to say is actually what has held you back from achieving all the success you want for yourself is actually not that voice, but the gremlin itself. That gremlin is the one who's kept you back from success. Most people think, oh no, that just helps me get out of bed in the morning, Kim. That helps me go to the gym. That helps me get the hard work done. And what I'm saying is actually that inner critic that you are giving so much credit to is keeping you from the level of success that you actually have available to you, but you aren't securing it because you are still being stopped by your inner critics, by your inner gremlins. And that, my friends, is why it's so important to get this removed simply by noticing, right? Just like Tina put up, our favorite hashtag collector is Tina, and simply notice is the key to that transforming. But you guys are going to have to become incredibly vigilant to make sure that whatever that inner critic and or critics is saying to you identifies for you, you have to get clear on what that is. My struggle right now is upping my share size. Hi, Nicholas. I'm glad you're here. Nicholas, come in for some speed coaching. What keeps you from coming in? And then we can tackle it together. Of course, I can just try to talk you through here, but it'll go much faster. What do you say, Nicholas? Why don't you take that link that's right above your comment? And on X, I have it up there too. And just come on in and let's get to it. What do you say? What do you think? I say you only live once. Actually, I believe we live many times, but I feel like you only live this lifetime once. maybe there's others there. So Nicholas, if you go to X and you click on this link here, the live coaching, you're going to see in the comments the link for the speed coaching. It's right there, and you just have to click on it and it'll take you right to it. So tell me if you don't find it, and I can also send it to you by DM. Let's see here. But it's right there. If you look at this live coaching, you just click the comments. I put it in the comments once. Speed coaching, join free stream. You just have to click on that, and it'll take you right into what is called the green room. And then I'll see that you're there, and I can put on your camera and bring you into the room. So hopefully, Nicholas, you see it. I'm going to try to get it over to you as DM as well, so that you can join me. I'd love to have you come in and do a speed session with me. All right, let's see here, Nicholas. Yeah, there you are. Sending it to your DM on X. So check your DMs and you'll see it right there. I just sent it over. Hey, Liz, I just joined. I heard you mention Tina's name. Can you shoot her my handle? I did. Put your handle here. Put your X handle here, Liz. Hey, Nicholas, I see you. Getting you in. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's so nice to meet you and put a face to the name.
Here, hold on. I'll flip on my light quick.
Okay, cool. So, Liz, put your handle there and tell Tina that you're trying to connect with her, but she's going to send me a DM and I'm going to try to put you guys together. So, Nicholas, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. Honestly, never better.
I'm doing good. I'm so glad.
Yeah.
So tell me more what the struggle is with regards to the sizing up. Let's see if we can't tackle that.
For the longest time, so
double check. Nicholas, let me double check first that you give me permission to coach you, and obviously, use this on our social media.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Just making sure. Cool. Hit me.
For the longest time, so when I initially started trading, I started out day trading on a prop desk, then kind of went on my own, transitioned into more like swing and position trading.
Okay.
I struggled initially with trying to take my day trading size into swing trading, and like holding that overnight just, didn't work. So I took 1,000 steps backwards and have really taken to pretty hardcore trend trading where it's like, I'm using ATR to kind of set my stops. They're wide. I give my positions plenty of space to run and to work. My struggle has been concentrating into, like, let's say my top 3 or 4 positions and like concentrating capital in those as well. And that's just kind of like where I'm working at getting to, or where I'm working at.
So let me understand what is literally happening emotionally with that transition for you.
I would say that it's probably more about the confidence and believing in myself than anything.
Yep.
Because taking the trend trading approach, I find to be lazy, and I hate to say easy, but like it's easy. Like I'm kind of a gunslinger. Like I have no problem like taking losses. I have no problem taking small losses.
Yeah.
It's not working. I have no problem cutting it. But like if I'm in a winner.
Hold on. Let's just pause right there. So
yeah.
Here's a crazy question. You ready?
Yeah.
What's wrong with easy?
nothing, I guess.
right?
Huh.
So what happens if you let trading be easy?
I mean, I would argue that, good trading is boring. Like, it's
I
easy,
would
like,
I
logically, it's
would
easy to
too.
say that. Uh,
100%, Nick. So boring is also easy, isn't it?
yeah.
And the other word that I want to pull out of this is the judgment of lazy.
Oh,
Lazy is a judgment word.
yeah. Yeah.
And if you are doing easy, but you potentially have an inner critic that stamps that with lazy, well, who the hell wants to be labeled lazy?
Oh, that gave me goosebumps. Yeah, wow. Okay.
So just sit with that. This is sometimes how we unconsciously self-sabotage because we have a judgment about something as simple as being lazy. Even using the word instead of using the word boring or easy or steady.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And the other word used, the phrase self-description, gunslinger. Doesn't that sound better than being lazy?
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
the
yeah.
in the movie cinemas, who wants to
Yeah.
go watch a guy who's lazy or go watch a gunslinger? It's more exciting to watch a gunslinger. But again, is that just a story that potentially isn't serving you as a trader doing what we both know is a steady Eddie?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm with you.
Cool. So
Yeah.
just let yourself like soak it in. Take it with you into tomorrow's trading. Take it into the rest of today.
Oh,
What's coming up?
I've been really lazy with my journaling and particularly like documenting, and gunslinging prevents me from doing that. And I don't know why it's just kind of smacking me in the face, but the better I am at documenting, the more I can. Like when I say lazy, I guess I guess that's probably what I'm speaking to, because if I'm size risking according to my like total capital, that should be fluctuating with my capital amount, and that's the reason I'm not upping my share size. I'm just continuing to like size risk, like I have the same account size that I did, a year ago or
Totally,
2 years
totally,
ago.
totally. So
That's
here's an inquiry too. Could you see if you could, like a scientist, identify you're not taking notes on your trades each day, but see if you can describe that without the adjective of lazy? What is a foot? What is, if you're looking at yourself as neutrally as possible?
accountability.
Okay, so you're not, but even accountability, like I want you to neutralize it and just identify, is it because you're bored with taking notes for yourself? Like what's the most neutral way you could say why you've not been taking notes?
Um,
Journaling.
Gosh, I don't know.
What
I mean,
need
in every other aspect of my trading, I find myself to be extremely disciplined, except for in this particular,
Yeah.
except here.
Yeah. So if we can, I don't know if you're familiar with my needs list, but I'm going to put a link to it right now. Maybe you can just take a quick peek at it. But part of me feels like there's a need that you are trying to get met by not doing that. And let me go on X quick and put the link here. I'll just DM to you as well so you can get it. But you do probably have to sign up to get it if you don't have it.
Okay.
So there's needs underneath any action we take, all of us. And the key is to identify what need is driving us. And it's easier to find that out if we don't slip into judgment. Once we slip into labeling it or putting we shrink, we start to protect ourselves, we start to go into a contraction. And how do we come out of that contraction? Well, we have to be as neutrally observing, like a scientist, as we can be, even with ourselves. So you're just getting curious with as much neutrality as possible. You said, well, when I'm operating like a gunslinger, it's hard to, step into journaling. Well, that makes sense. Think of a gunslinger. He's got to be vigilant. He's got to be looking near his corner, his eyes, like make sure he doesn't miss anything, right? So is he going to stop after that kind of activity? His adrenaline's running. He's not going to be able to sit down and take notes. The shooter was at the top of the bar.
Yeah.
So is it possible after this gunslinging behavior, taking risk that isn't appropriate for the place you are now, you're just hopped up and not in a position to journal?
Oh, so are you suggesting to take like a step back then and like collect my breath before?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm not giving any solution yet. I just want us to get clear on what's happening.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Let's just see what, instead of just saying you're undisciplined, which is a judgment, or lazy, which is a judgment, let's just call the recipe what it is right now.
Sure. I mean, like when you say what need is being met, are you saying like a belief, like something that I believe, or are you saying like
Nope, human needs are not beliefs. They are what all humans have to experience peace, joy, ease, equanimity.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so here's one of the needs that's possibly being met by not journaling: the need for adventure.
Oh God. Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Gunsling is an adventure. You live, maybe you die. You don't know what's gonna happen. It's kind of up in the air. It's exciting.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
could it just be that you don't have your need for adventure met enough in other places?
Oh, wow. Okay.
So having this adventure every day in your trading is meeting the need for adventure, challenge, stimulation, excitement.
Wow, I've never thought of it like that. Okay.
Right? So it's a need, and if it's not getting met, then it's going to be potentially more likely for you to try to get it met in your trading.
Yeah, totally.
One of the clients I worked with during COVID was a weekend warrior type. She was a veteran trader. She she was taking unusual size risks. She didn't know what the hell was going on with her. She's like, I know better. What has happened to me? Well, we found out during COVID, every place she did her adventure weekends were shut down.
Yeah.
So she wasn't getting her need for adventure met. She's trying to get it met in her trading.
Ha. Wow. Oh yeah. I mean, I would say it's a combination of the hunt and the adventure, because the thing is, like, if I'm not actively trading, I'm literally just flipping charts and setting alerts.
So
And it's not like I take trades when my alerts don't trigger. Like, yeah, okay.
So it could be, Nick, that you are intellectually not being stimulated enough.
That's kind of where I was actually thinking. Yeah.
So maybe you got to start a side hustle, start a side business, play a chess tournament in the middle of the day to keep you creatively challenged, or get yourself a Rubik's Cube at the desk.
Yeah, I own a parking management company.
Perfect.
So like I
Let your creativity, your stimulation, your strategic mind get activity, because it's possible the day-to-day pattern, repeating of trading is boring the hell out of you, which is okay.
Yeah, oh my God. Yes. 100%.
It's okay. You can make money being bored, and go make money in some exciting ways outside of trading.
Ha. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Or come up with another strategy that you've never created before.
Yeah, I've been feeling called to write more and to kind of lean into like journaling. Interestingly, that has been my what I've been avoiding, but kind of writing and sharing. I think that's why I've enjoyed interacting with you and what you share on Twitter, because last 3 or 4 years I've been going to a lot of therapy, various forms of therapy, and figuring out more about myself than I think I ever have.
Excellent.
And I guess I've come to realize that I can't be the only one going through what I'm going through, and if I can share that stuff,
I don't know. We're all going through it, and even the people who don't admit they're going through it too.
Yeah, totally. I had a guy write to me once, and he said, "Hey, I appreciate what you share, but it's tough to put it out there in public and say me too, or I'm going through this too." So yeah, okay.
Only
awesome.
Because his inner critics and inner gremlins are telling him that something's wrong with him.
Yeah.
But they're not telling him the truth, are they?
Yeah, totally.
But this is part of how we stay isolated. We think we're the only ones.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
If we are 6 feet above ground, we got work to do.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
We have work to do to just discover who we are.
Yeah. I had it's crazy. I hit this, a couple of weeks ago. I think in the psychology world, it's called disassociation. When you've been through trauma and abuse, your brain kind of blocks it out. I got to the root of some limiting beliefs. And somehow in a therapy session, my brain kind of unlocked where it all came from. So sadly, I got to see it. It all memories came flooding back. But I was like, holy shit, if I'm not what this made me believe, then I'm kind of I don't want to say an identity crisis, but I'm
yes, you
who
are.
am I if I'm not that?
Totally, you are in an identity crisis. But I would not maybe label it crisis. I would say you're in an identity possibility.
Oh, yeah.
Because now you get to completely handpick your
what I want to be.
Flavors of identity.
Yeah, man. goosebumps.
Did you by chance see my interview with Matthew McConaughey or read his book Green Lights?
I have no, I didn't see your interview. No.
It's a
I'll definitely watch it.
Great conversation. And one of my favorite parts of his book, Green Lights, recommended strongly.
Yeah.
He has this scene in the book after he gets he's gotten the Academy Award, whatever kind of accolade. Obviously, he's a freaking world famous movie star. But he says when he gets an award or something that, obviously is a big deal, he will take himself and put himself someplace where nobody knows him, like the Amazon jungle or among a monastery where they don't have running water. Nobody even watches TV there, right? He will take himself out of it. So there's a scene in Green Lights where he goes to the Amazon jungle, and he is, he's of Irish descent. So he's got his father's claddagh ring, right? That's the symbol of the Irish kind of. He's got his, I don't know, what's that football team he loves with the hook it's a Texas.
Oh, Longhorns.
Longhorns, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's wearing ring. Like he's got all these different things on him that he speaks about are his identity, right? He's married. He's a Longhorn fan. He's an Irish descent. All of the labels, things that he self-identifies as, he speaks to this part where he takes it all off symbolically, like gets naked to let himself just for this moment as he's processing and healing himself to not identify with any of those labels or distinctions, to just come back to himself.
Yeah.
And as he processes through that, then, he does full circle where he chooses to be married again. He chooses to be a Longhorn fan, whatever. But that scene, and I asked him to talk about that part in the book, in the podcast from the book, because I think that is something that all of us need to do at different parts of our life. You're having it kind of handed to you on a silver platter now. But I think all of us, and I think part of our the stages of our age is part of that, right? As we age, we get to let go of the parts of ourselves that no longer serve us. Let's say a 30-year-old woman lets go of the party girl, and she was in her 20s. Like the guys who are the gunslingers in their 30s, maybe in their 40s, are going to be a bookworm, whatever. It's just about noticing that those aren't who we fundamentally are. They are just parts of the kaleidoscope of who we are.
Yeah. I love it.
Cool job. That cool job you've done on yourself, that you had that breakthrough, that you got to be able to now see, that sense of self was created to help me survive.
Yeah.
And thank God it was, Nick, because how could you gotten through it without it?
Yeah, totally.
But now you've had that tap you on the shoulder and say, guess what? You get to be more than just that.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep pounding the table. I'm like, I spend a lot of time on StockTwits and Twitter. And it's like, I want to keep pounding the table. Like, trading is the hero's journey. Like, on a selfish level, it's not like, at least initially, it's not like I was selflessly trying to figure myself out. It was financially motivated. I have kids. I have a wife. Like it wasn't a selfless thing. And it's funny how it like kind of ultimately has kind of come full circle where it is and it isn't.
Totally.
Yeah.
It is a hero's journey. And that's why I just put this link up, which is, I took Joe Campbell's map, and put what I see happen to traders on their journey. I overlaid it onto his trading, the hero's journey, because in my experience, that is exactly what trading is all about. It's the opportunity to have a heroic adventure.
Yeah.
And all anybody can do is just start to pay attention. Like, oh, look at that. Isn't that fascinating? Oh, look at that. Isn't that fascinating?
You almost become your own, like, I guess you kind of become your own contrarian indicator. You become your own indicator, like I notice, mornings pre-market when I want to get real loud and yell into the void on the internet, like we're probably going to rip that day, and then, kind of, I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, yeah, it's funny how it all, yeah, it's awesome.
Yep.
Hey.
So if you see this as a hero's adventure, and, I just put the link in case you wanted, I would say, look at that map. Everybody who's listening, ask yourself as a trader, where are you on that map? And here's the thing, you don't live that map once, you live it over and over and over again. So it's like, where am I today? Where am I going? What is the stuff I'm going to have to gird my loins for? That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. But to also have empathy and compassion for what you have already had to traverse through.
Sure. Yeah, I think, I don't know, you pointed that out on Twitter yesterday. I think it's the hardest part is, often, like, I think most of us that are probably the most judgmental of other people and things and places are obviously we're the harshest on ourselves. And which kind of sucks, because then it's like, holy shit, if for me to like really be, patient and compassionate, understand, or, and graceful with other people, like I have to do it with myself.
Correct.
So
just like an oxygen mask, Nick, you can't run around a plane putting oxygen on other people if you don't have it on yourself.
Yeah.
Needs are oxygen.
Oh.
That's why that need list is going to be hopefully very helpful to you, because you need to spend some time identifying what are your basic needs. What aren't getting met currently? We identified that some are, your attempt to get them met are costing your trading account.
Yeah.
If you just have awareness of those needs, you have a much better chance at being a better steward of them. But you can't be a steward of needs you don't even have identified.
Well, that's exciting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the key to the kingdom. But here's the analogy of why needs are so important and self-compassion is, do you know that it's ideal? Lifeguards are taught to preferably approach a drowning man in twos. Why do you think that is, Nick?
Wait, say that again?
Why would lifeguards be advised to ideally approach drowning man in twos?
Oh, the drowning man's likely going to try and in panic and end up drowning
one of those rescuers, right?
Yeah.
Would we call that drowning man a jerk?
No. Well, no.
How come, Nick?
He's in panic. He's in fight or flight mode, or
he doesn't have his need for oxygen met.
Oh.
Needs are oxygen. So anytime somebody pulls you down, pulls me down, anytime we pull ourselves down, it's simply a response of a person who's drowning and isn't getting the basic need met.
Oh, okay.
So the people that cut us off, the people that are rude to us, it changes the whole perspective when you realize, wow, they're just a drowning man or woman.
Hurt people hurt people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if we start just with ourselves, of course we can't be compassionate to anybody else if we don't start here.
Yeah.
Of course we can't be understanding if we don't start here.
Yeah.
So we start with ourselves. We say, God, how do I get more oxygen into this drowning body?
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at that. I need more adventure. I need some creative intellectual challenge. You start getting those, Matt?
Oh my goodness. Wow. I interestingly, I mean, I think a lot of traders that began trading around kind of the credit crisis really came into their own about 2017, 2018, 2019. And for a lot of us, 2020 was actually probably our best year to date. All of my basic need, well, I shouldn't say that. My need for adventure was hardcore getting met. Like, I mean, I was hiking every day. Like every day. The gym wasn't open, so I couldn't go to the gym. I obviously couldn't go to yoga. So there was no yoga classes. Like I was kind of forced outside. You know, we were kind of confined to kind of our counties and whatnot. But like, I mean, I was outside every day. Oh my gosh, that is so. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, that is. I don't know, funny and awesome. It's all the things.
Because now there's a path forward that is very different than perhaps what you thought you had to do. And this is why it's so important to observe neutrally, because if we step into judgment, we potentially keep ourselves from what's just like an organic solution.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Have empathy for yourself. Oh, I'm not doing these things and I'm really disciplined in other places. So you get curious, what's afoot? What need am I trying to get met? Which is costing me, but it's still a human pull towards trying to seek that need. So you get it met in other ways.
I feel like in all the reading I've done, I have not come across this. Like I have not.
His work is life-changing. Marshall Rosenberg, he created it. It's called Nonviolent Communication, NVC for short. It's a needs-based language. If you want to start, here's a couple of books I'd recommend. Speak Peace in a World of Conflict and Nonviolent Communication, both by him. His work I got introduced to probably 22 years ago before I even became a coach. And when I finished my coach training, all of my colleagues went down NLP path. I was the only one who had done the NVC route because I was like, this is life-changing.
Yeah.
Life-changing. Not that NLP isn't, but this became my salvation. It was, I still have not seen, I have 5 practices that I speak about in my book, but this is the game changer of game changers, this book, this nonviolent communication.
It's, I've not argued. I've always believed that the market pays you what you inherently feel you deserve. Like it's like, kind of the mirror sort of in a way.
That's Ed Seykota. He has that quote.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right? You will always get out of the market what you think,
what you feel you deserve. So like ultimately, if you have limiting beliefs and feel like you're undeserving, or like it's, I guess Yeah, the deserving gives it like you kind of said in that tweet, like it gives it a weird thing or a kind of a sharp dig to it because again, as human beings, like I think it's our birthright to be
Yeah. But
abundant and all the
there,
things.
I don't think the concept of deserve in our day-to-day life is what Rosenberg pushes back on. And I can say this, the market, we have there is an earning that a trader has to do to
Sure.
trade. So there is a sense of earning your right to trade because you do have to develop yourself, but it is the worthiness factor
Yeah.
that we have to pull apart, and that's what I feel Etsuko's trying to get across with that quote of his is if you do earn your right to trade, but you still inherently don't feel worthy of love and belonging, you will not be able to find success in trading either.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for being so forthright and for your trust. I appreciate it so much.
Hey, thank you.
This was good. Stay in touch.
Absolutely. I definitely will.
I think you want to set yourself back, maybe a nice cup of hot cocoa or scotch, whatever your pleasure is. Kick your feet back and just sit. And that is so good. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so great to meet you in person. I'm really glad you came on.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, so welcome. All right, that is that for today, guys. Thank you all for being here. We had a big turnout in the room. Please do what you can to go and follow Nick on X. I would love everybody here to give him a shout out for having the courage to come forward to speak what no doubt many of you guys can relate to. So please prop him up, pat him on the back. He did just a lot of work for everybody who didn't come into the room today. And it was really incredibly powerful. So, all right, the homework that's there for yourselves, if you're listening, is potentially consider looking at this needs list. I put that in X and on the chat here in Restream on YouTube. Check out the hero's journey, see where you are on your adventure, and begin to identify what these needs are that you might be trying to get met in the market, because if that is what you're doing, you're going to pay a price. All right, I don't think I'm coming in this Thursday. Oh, because I'm interviewing David Prince this Thursday. So David and I are going to do an X space on Thursday. That's why I'm not doing the live coaching on Thursday, but I'll be back live coaching next Tuesday. We'll come up with the time and put it up online. Thank you again so much, Nick, for coming into the room. Thank you, everybody, for being here. What an incredible conversation it was today.